So today we have King Control. Now, Kingpin is a card that we have seen on and off. Last time we played this card in this channel was when he was a 3/4 with the ability that activated only on turn 6 and actually destroyed instead of afflicting power. Now, what I found with Kingpin is that he's a much more reliable card when played early on, and just trying to squeeze out, you know, -2, -4 here and there, just so he ends up being like a 2/5, 2/7. So not really the end game boss that he used to be, but definitely a lot more reliable in other ways too. The way that his ability is able to be activated is with a couple cards here in our deck that we're going to go over. Now, the first one is Magneto. He's the big boss of movers, at least in Marvel Snap currently. And he's able to move the 3 and 4 cost cards to his location. Of course, if we have Kingpin in play, then that can go anywhere from an extra 2 to an extra 8 power for us. Typically, that's not something that we go for because since this is a control deck, we do want to spread out throughout 2 different locations rather than just focus on one. The next card is a card that we can play starting from turn 4. It's one that we can combine with other cards that we'll go over shortly, and one that got recently buffed, Stegron. He's a 4/7 now from a 4/6, and his ability to move cards to the right now, only exclusively, gives us the chance to be able to predictably get benefits off of Kingpin, which is why we typically want to play Kingpin either on the middle or the right location to take advantage of this. Now, our third mover is Polaris. Basically mini Magneto, but one that we'll be playing early on, especially if we draw into Kingpin, just to get a lot of points on the table. If you think about it, she's a 5. Kingpin is also a 3, but if we play them together and move something, we already have 10 power by turn 3, which is not too shabby. And one thing I also want to take note is that with all these movers that I'm mentioning, especially the lower cost ones, they're not only good for Kingpin, but they're good for making sure that we clog up one of our opponent's lanes if they're playing a little bit more on our tempo, of course. And the last one that we're going to go over is Juggernaut. And again, we're hinting towards another card that works well with Juggernaut, but he's just overall a great card to even surprise opponents on turn 6. I've had games where I can play him on a lane by himself where there's nothing else being played. It's a guaranteed winnable lane outside of something like a Doom being played on you. Now that the movers are out of the way, let's go over our main central control piece of the deck, which is Storm. We can play Storm on any location to get rid of whatever ability that location has. So this is perfect against magic decks. It's perfect against locations that straight up we just don't want to deal with. So on that front, she controls that, but then we're able to follow her up with a variety of different cards. Stegron as the first one to be played on turn 4. If we don't have priority usually, then we're able to move that. So if you guys aren't aware, you haven't played in a little bit, move cards are only moved by Juggernaut now if they're unrevealed. Now if they are revealed, then that's why I'm mentioning, you know, we can move them. So Stegron is a perfect candidate to combo with Storm on turn 4. Similarly, Juggernaut works no matter what. So he's probably your best card because no matter the priority, he's gonna move them away no matter what. But as your third option, we also have Negasonic. So she'll destroy anything that's played there. Typically by turn 4, they're only gonna play like one card anyway. So she's there to make sure that that location that Storm flooded is won by us. Moving along, we have a few different control cards. We have Shadow King, who's really strong right now. He's able to pretty much dismantle a lane on his own. If you're playing against Angela decks with Thana, if you're playing against Surfer decks, He's going to be your go-to, your go-to ender. And just make sure that you don't have the priority so that his ability takes effect, which is not too difficult to do with this deck. Since being a control deck, our power level is not as high as some other ones. Red Guardian is next, and he's one that has been giving me a lot of success lately, just because there's so many of these low-cost cards that scale up so high that a lot of decks are depending on. So we're talking early Angela, Thana, Morbius, Dracula, Iron Man, you name it. All these different cards that are really strong and can win games on their own are going to be dismantled by Red Guardian. Now, if you don't have Red Guardian, you have other options. You can choose to go Rogue instead, which can take care of a few of the cards that I mentioned, but also including ruining Tribunal decks, helping with Zoo a little bit more as well, as you get rid of their Patriot or their Blue Marvel. So she's another option that you can substitute if you do not have Red Guardian. And also don't forget Enchantress. She does cost one more, but she's able to take down more ongoing effects than Rogue as well. And to close off the cards, we also have White Widow. She's arguably just one of the strongest 2-drops in the game right now. She's a 2/6 pretty much, so easy to get priority with if you need it. And at the very least, she'll be a 2/2 at the end of the game if our opponent fills up that lane. But she plays a special role in a deck like this because as we're adding Widow's Kiss to their lane, we're clogging up their lanes and making it easier for us to move around their cards and clog up a whole lane using her as well. So she's very helpful there. So before we get into the matches, this deck is definitely not super competitive. Like, I'm going to be honest, I feel that a lot of these, what's referred to as bully move, where we can move our opponent's cards around, are a bit underserved. And Kingpin's transition from this really threatening card on turn 6 to sort of a milder version of himself does leave a lot to be desired, but nonetheless it is fun to move your opponent's cards around, to see their power go down, to clog their lanes. You know, it's still pretty fun to play. So hopefully you guys see a little bit of that during the games that we're about to show off. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy them and see you next time. All right, so we're starting off with Storm, White Widow, Kingpin. So hopefully we can get things started with Storm on turn 3 into Juggernaut, Negasonic. We can even do Stegron turn 4 if they have priority. Let's see. I think White Widow in the middle will be nice, because they're probably thinking we're doing them a favor. Okay, let's storm that. That Savage Land is also important for us because if they play even one card, we can lock them out with Polaris. Okay. So we didn't get anything, you know, anything crazy. Let's see. We can either do Polaris or Red Guardian. I kind of like Polaris for Savage Land though. They might just stay away from the middle location altogether though. I mean, they're down 8 points, so okay. Let's see what they got. Jubilee. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. What is this? Iron Lad into Jubilee into Scarlet Witch that removes the storm that creates the raft that gives them a free 6-cost card that costs 0. I thought I seen it all. Alright. This guy Marvel snaps. Okay, so Kingpin and Polaris, we're gonna see. Okay. Yes, not. Whoa. What's happening? Okay. What is this person doing? Okay. I mean, they were in a really, really, really good spot. I don't understand what they're kind of going for, but and honestly, I don't. I mean, they need 14 points. They need, yeah. Well, 16 to like outright win, but okay, they're comfortable in that. They're snapping. They for sure need to win those 2 locations. What do we have? Doom. Okay. 17 and 13. Ooh. Yeah, I think they went a bit aggressive there. I think the I think the destroyer was overkill. But we lucked out, honestly, because they had the miracle play. But I understand. They you know, they got destroyer. You can't really use destroyer, I guess, in their deck, so they were like, you know, I'll use it. But either way, flushed it out, so happy about that. 0, good game, man. Murder World for turn 1. For Murder World, there's always the case where you can like Polaris their stuff into it just to kill it. It's almost never really worth it because we're always losing out more points than it's always like unfavorable to do so on our end. So I typically don't do it, but the option's there. The option's there. Oh, that's a sick Angela. Okay, ultimate version. We lucked out with the Widow's Kiss. See, now what we can do is actually Polaris at Angela. Angela's a pretty big target. So is Thea or Athena. Forgot right now what her name is. But what we can do is either Polaris it to the left, or just Negasonic in the middle and get rid of whatever they have. But again, Angela's still gonna take those points. Oh, apologies. You know what? Because of that, you're not gonna play with Angela. Bye. All right, turn 4. Let's see. We don't have much to play with. Stegron's strong for sure, but retreat. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, on turn 4, they weren't playing anything, so this deck works best when the opponent is also playing on your same tempo. That way you're able to move their stuff around throughout the game rather than just like towards the end of the game. But as you can see, you can also just discourage people from playing the game by moving their Angela to Murder World in our case here. Anyway, mute everybody. Good game, man. Okay, we have Murder World again. Starting us off. Oh no. Is this a Zemo deck? And then Sinister London. Oof, okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm tempted to just like storm here. They're obviously they're not gonna pass. Okay. And they helped us out. So, it's a destroy deck. All right. They're up by 4 points, so let's see how we can bring this back. Hoping they don't play anything too strong in the middle. Oh, that's pretty strong. Magneto? No. Okay. So we're still winning. Yeah, thankfully. Okay. Gladiator was the one that was moved. So that's nice for us. Got 5 to play with. So if we don't do Negasonic now, we might not get a chance to play her. And I think that's it. That's it on our end. Cable. Okay. I really want to see if Shadow King's any use to us. He's not on the final round, but this does a lot for us. Putting 12 here. What else do we have? Polaris won't do much. Shadow King won't do anything. Yeah, this is an awkward... Definitely an awkward deck to maneuver against. Oh, right, Polaris can move Cable, but that won't be useful right now. So, yeah, I'm thinking Magneto. We want to abandon this one, right? The right side. But that's the thing, they can just play on the left. They could just play like 2 cards and then they beat us. So I think we're kind of forced into playing Magneto on the left. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Blew that up. And these 2 here make 12. So we're even there. And yeah. Wow. Oh, that is an expensive move. I don't know if... I've faced quite a few players who will use Magneto turn 6 while we have Negasonic, and maybe they're just not aware of it, but it will blow up Magneto if she's moved into the same lane he's played. Either way, Herbie, good game, man. All right. Ulrich. Nice to meet you, bud. I hope we have a clean fight today. Thanos player. Okay. Jotunheim. This is the nothing can stop you from playing or moving Thanos. Okay. So let's do Kingpin on the right. I actually haven't played Thanos since his rework with the stone, so I still have to reference them from time to time. Okay. So I like Storm here in the middle because they don't want to play there. Typically. I find it that like a player, most players that see Jotunheim either don't play there or play their Luke Cage on there as soon as they can, almost like as if it's not applied to everywhere. They want to make a statement. Okay. So what do we do here? We can do Juggernaut's nice. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Now we're gonna be able to go ahead and yoink at least one of them. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, there's a note to that. So there goes that plan. Okay. So we're praying for that Killmonger to show up any second. I know it. Right here. Nope. Nope. Okay. So, Time Stone gives -1. Okay. So we have 5 to play with. Let's hide Negasonic here and Jeff. Yeah. Okay. But we have priority, so that's awesome. That's awesome because that means that our Negasonic will be able to nuke whatever is there. Which could have been a 5-cost Thanos thanks to Time Stone. So, what are we doing here? Deathlock has -2 from Kingpin. Okay. And then the peak is there. So, yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy here. Let's just Killmonger, Shadow King. Yeah, right? I mean, it's pretty bad. Like, we need something there. So, let's just Shadow King there and Killmonger here. Just to have a few more points on the right side. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I forgot Mind Stone is a 2-cost card. It's been a minute. There we go. Blowed up. Thanos got that was so quick. It was a cool variant too. All right, so it pays off to set up. It still paid off to have that Storm Juggernaut play there. I mean, you know, they ruined it with reality, but being able to still have that priority, I think, is what took the cake for us. That Negasonic put in work. Either way, Ulrich, good game, man.